Hi, I'm Luke Chandler. Recently I had the privilege to visit a place I always love to go, the British Museum in London. They have some wonderful exhibits that relate to the Bible and archaeology. One of the stories in the Bible that shows up in 3 different books is the Assyrian invasion of Judah during the time of Hezekiah. We may be familiar with the end of the story when an angel comes out and kills a lot of the Assyrian army and they go back to Assyria instead of taking Jerusalem. Before they got to Jerusalem, they took a city called Lachish or Lachish, which happens to be a place where I've excavated for 3 seasons. We found a lot of things there relating to that particular attack, and I'm going to go through and show you the Assyrian version of the attack on Lachish. Some of the images from this you may have seen in Bible materials or sermons or lessons or other resources, but there's a lot more than just a photo or two that relates to that attack. It's a fascinating look at the Assyrian army and the way they went about things, and I hope you enjoy it. We're in the British Museum in the room that shows the capture and fall of Lachish, or Lachish, a famous Bible event. It's alluded to in the book of 2 Kings, 2 Chronicles, and Isaiah. It's the invasion of Sennacherib into Judah during the time of Hezekiah. And we'll begin here. These panels were in the walls of King Sennacherib in his palace in Nineveh. You see the Assyrian army marshaling here. If you look closely, these are slingers, shooting sling stones. These were ancient snipers. And you see they're grouped together with their arms in an action position, the slings with the stone visible right there. They are shooting bullets, essentially tennis ball-sized sling stones up towards the defenders of the walls. The defenders were members of the army of Judah, defending the city of Lachish or Lachish. And slingers were ancient snipers. They'd at least make the defenders keep their heads down and maybe take out a few of them on the way. And here are the archers as well, shooting up towards the walls. And notice above the Assyrians, vineyards, grapes, typical vegetation in the area around Judah. If you go to Lachish today, they're still maintaining vineyards in that area. And you go down and it shows just more. You see more slingers, and moving on, you see more archers assaulting the city of Lachish. And you move on past the ranged weapons, and now you're getting into the infantry, and you see spearmen assaulting the city with wicker shields. And if you look at their belts, they have sheathed swords as well. That's their secondary weapon for close-in combat. There's someone providing shield cover for a couple of archers. And you move on up to this ramp. It looks like it's made of bricks. This means it's a constructed surface, a constructed ramp. If you go to Lachish today, this ramp is there. It was excavated back, it was discovered back in the 30s and excavated in the 1980s. But you see them going up the ramp against the city. And you see archers, and you see again soldiers crossed with their shields. As you get up close, you begin to see more hectic scenes of battle. Pull out a little bit, and there is a tower of the city of Lachish, and you see soldiers on top defending, and coming from the sky you see stones and you see torches. You look down here and you see a siege engine of the Assyrians going up against the wall, and there are Assyrians protected as they're shooting, and a long spear is going out from the siege engine to pick at rocks and destabilize that tower or the wall and bring it down. The torches were meant to burn the engine. If you look carefully in the middle, you see the Assyrians are pouring water on their siege engine to either prevent fires or put out fires, a countermeasure against the torches. And it is successful. As the scene moves on, you see captives coming out of the city carrying their possessions, going down the natural hill into captivity, into exile. And this natural hill, this is the ramp, the main entrance ramp of Lachish, which is there today, and most visitors go up that same route. At the bottom, you see people from Lachish being impaled on stakes, psychological warfare to terrify people and get them to surrender and stop fighting, or else. You go up and you see the battle continues. These very long shields that are curved and cover the entire body in some cases, Going up against the city, you see more action. You see another siege engine, water being poured on it to keep the fires out. And moving on down, we begin to see the prisoners lined up. You see a family with a cart. You see children depicted, and they're carrying their possessions, their family, as they go off into captivity. But not everyone went into captivity. You look over here, you see these two guys, and scholars most believe that these guys are being flayed alive, having their skin cut off by the soldiers while they're still alive. You see around them typical plants, vegetation. Up here above these captives, you see more of the vineyards in the area. As you come down, you begin to see people making supplication with their hands. You see here a soldier slitting the throat of a prisoner from the city, and more death and torture. And you see, as you come up, more captives. They're prostrate on their knees, on their hands, begging for their lives from King Sennacherib himself on his throne. And there he is. His face was chiseled out, probably by an enemy. These panels were also damaged when Nineveh was conquered years later. But you continue around from Sennacherib, and what not everyone notices is you keep going, and there is the Assyrian camp, the siege camp. And if you're at Lachish today, it's believed to be up on a hill. If you're in the parking lot and you see Lachish in front of you, look to the right. There's a modern settlement up there, some buildings, but that was the hill. And here you see more slingers and better resolution. So it's a great teaching tool to illuminate the story of Lachish and Sennacherib's invasion of Judah. If you read the Bible, we read that after here, this army went to Jerusalem, and the Bible describes how an angel went out and killed 185,000 of the army of the Assyrians in one night, and Sennacherib went home. That is this army that it's talking about. So a vivid depiction of people, events, armies described in the Bible. Here in the British Museum, if you make a visit, and you should, get on a plane, come over to London, see this exhibit. There's so much here that connects to the Bible that illuminates the stories for us.